So I've been working since June 12th. We've taken a couple days off, but otherwise we've been kind of slogging along. We did 2 sites in Florida. It was pretty funny because one of them we had permission for, and one of them it was like a little bit vague about whether or not we had permission, but it's fine. Then we came up to Georgia. We went to Statesboro, Georgia, and we stayed with a friend of mine, Meg, except for we didn't stay with her. We stayed with her father and her stepmom, and I had never met them, and they and I was just bringing this random person and myself, and it was quite hilarious. But they were super nice. They had 2 cats and a dog, so we got to hang out with them, and that was just, it was just super cute. They were like, I can't believe how nice they were. We were just random strangers, and they kept trying to give us food, and they bought us hydration drinks because they were like, oh, you're gonna be not hydrated out there in the field, and I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. So they were, that was just super awesome. So now in Statesboro, we did 2 sites. We did one called Ahopee Dunes, which is funny because it's actually closer to the spot we are now, so we ended up having to drive an hour from that house, but it worked out fine. And that did not have a lot of tortoises in it, and it was pretty darn hot there, and then sometimes it would rain, so it was just really not great. But then we did one little site owned by the Nature Conservancy, and that was beautiful, and it only took us a day, but we saw a lot of tortoises. I think it's probably the highest tortoise density that we're going to see in Georgia. Now we're working on a site also owned by the Nature Conservancy called Moody Forest, and it's pretty, but there aren't a ton of tortoises. It's just a really large area, and I think it's managed for so many different things that it's hard to know where the tortoises are going to be, so you end up walking a lot of transects that are there's nothing here. This is a ton of plants and briars in my legs. And that hurts. But yeah, no, it's been good. We're currently in a hotel. We're going to start camping starting Sunday night. No. Let me think about that. And we're going to start camping tomorrow night. So that's pretty exciting. And then I get a bit of a break in age to hang out with Emily again, which is awesome. So yeah, I don't really have a whole ton to report. It's kind of funny having a tech, someone that you're with consistently, because I have learned that I think I value my alone time, and it's kind of hard to have alone time when you're constantly with someone else, which is funny because one of the interview questions I asked was how do you deal with the fact that there's not going to be a whole lot of personal space? And everyone was like, oh, it's going to be fine. And really what I should have been asking is, how do you deal with the fact that I like personal space, even if you don't? So that's something. I've also learned that I think when I do have enough personal space, I get a little... Well, okay, maybe it's not personal space. I just have very high expectations of, what I'm going to get out of this project, and I'm oh, we're going to, work and work and work, and, yeah, it's 94 hot, but that's fine, we're going to keep working, just bring more water, we feel shitty, but, it's a good kind of shitty, we're finding the tortoises, but, turns out that other people who are reasonable, and who are not overly committed to their master's projects, / are not working on their master's projects, are working on someone else's master's project, do not always feel exactly the same. So, I think it's been interesting trying to, figure out, what's a reasonable amount of work to do versus, what's the amount of work that I think we should be doing. I think it's reasonable that we should work 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, right? Work a 40-hour week. But that does mean working through, if it's 92 out, but it's, the heat index, it's, over 100. So, maybe that's not really reasonable that we work for 8 hours. Maybe we're not doing the best work. But, at the same time, only working for 6 hours isn't... Okay, there's some people walking by. That's awkward. My window is open. But maybe only working for 6 hours isn't reasonable. And so kind of what we're doing right now is we're only working for 6 hours. And it's frustrating to me because I want to be working for more hours, but maybe that's not actually safe. Maybe that's not productive. Maybe if we worked 2 more hours, we actually wouldn't do any more work. So I think there's sort of this what I want and maybe what's reasonable and then kind of what's gonna actually happen, and so it's I don't really know how to balance all those out yet. I keep texting Emily or calling Emily and being oh, I have this problem, and I don't know, and she's well, maybe it's because it's freaking hot out, and I'm well, yeah, but, and she's well, you have lots of time, you're doing all these sites, you've got all these extra sites in, you're gonna be great, and I'm well, but, and then I realized that she's right, and then this has been a good learning experience for me. And darn it, Emily, stop having really good advice. So today, my day off has been kind of funny. I have really gotten nothing done. Went down to breakfast, and then I was I'm going to get up. Maybe I'll go to the pool, but didn't really end up happening. And then I was well, I'm going to go jogging, because I do need to go jogging, because I'm trying to still jog, I'm still trying to jog 15K a week, and it's kind of hot out, so, I've been keeping it up, but, it's it's rough because it's really hot and we're walking like 8 miles a day. And so I get tired. But I'm like, no, I gotta do it. But I woke up too late and it's already like 94 out. And I'm not going jogging when it's 94. Like, I'm committed to my exercise, but I'm not that committed to my exercise. So I'll have to see if I actually end up doing anything. The other fun thing I've been doing is I've been deciding that, like, I kind of tend to dump a lot of photos on Facebook. And I'm like, you know what? My Facebook friends probably don't appreciate it that much. Because they're a bunch of, like, wildlife photos that I'm, like, trying to scientifically describe. And I'm like, maybe this isn't the best spot for it. So I've been putting everything in Project Noah. So if y'all want to check out my Project Noah account, it's kind of cool. I'll link it in the bottom down there. Oh, cool. Look, I'm like trying to be one of those actual YouTube people that like links things in the bottom. Ah. Next I'll be like telling you, oh, don't forget to subscribe. And then there'll be like a pop-up here or something. No, but I've decided to use Project Noah to sort of catalog the different species I'm seeing, and it's kind of fun because it's all in one spot, and you can also, like, you have to, like, geotag everything you put up there. You have to say approximately where you found it, like, on a map, and then you can download it as a CSV or a KML file, so, like, you can just basically get, like, a map of, like, where all the things you found are, and that's really cool to me because, like, I want to know what random species I found, and, like, a lot of the times I find flowers, and I send them to Emily, and she tells me what they are, and then I just, like, don't remember what they are because it's in a text message, like, way down. And then I send her probably the same flower again, and I'm like, look at this flower! And probably she's like, wow, Heather, you're an idiot. We've seen this flower like 20 times, but I don't remember. But this way I can remember because it'll all be in one spot. So I'm very excited about that. And so that's what I'm doing in my free time. And this is my compromise between, like, actually working and taking a day off. I'm like, I will work on a project, but it's not a school project, so it's relaxing. See? Right? That's how relaxing works? Kind of unclear on that subject. Yeah, so we've seen a ton of cool wildlife, and I'm super excited to get back out there again, even though it is super hot and kind of uncomfortable, and my legs are sort of, I don't know, okay, so I had this weird rash on, like, one of my knees, because I got cut, and then I, like, scratched it, and then it got infected, and then it kind of spread to the other knee, and then both of my knees were just infected and gross, and I was like, I'm gonna die, I probably have a weird disease. Oops. But I didn't die, and might have had a weird disease, I don't know, but it went away. But now it's just like I have all these cuts all over both of my legs, and I just like look like I'm some sort of weird ill individual. Like, it's not attractive, and I wish it would stop. And it's also really itchy, and it just basically, nature is the worst. It's like there are briars, and it's hot out, and I'm sweaty, and I don't know where my comb is, so I like can't have neat hair ever. Anyway, fieldwork is loads of fun, and I am actually excited to go back, even though nature appears to be trying to kill me. So. Oh, I sat on an anthill the other day and got a ton of biting red ants in my pants. I am just really good at this nature thing. I clearly should do this for a living.